This is Sherry Patton Ceramics making a bird. So you're going to take a piece of clay and you're going to roll it in your palms. And now to make this part thin for this tail, what you're going to do is put the clay right at the base of your hand. You're going to connect those bases together, and when you roll, you're only going to put pressure at the base of your hands here. And if you do that, all of a sudden you have a tail. Okay, so now we're going to add the head. Add a piece of clay, and you're going to roll it in your hands until it's kind of a sphere. Just like that. And now I'm going to use a scoring type tool because I know a lot of you, I don't like this tool, but a lot of you are not going to be using the kiln. You're going to have, air dry clay and that kind of thing. You don't even need to score that. So this is for my students or people who are doing low fire or high fire work where they do need to score, otherwise heads fall off and things like that. So here we are. I'm going to press this together now. Now notice I'm really going to support it on all sides, and then I'm going to press the head into the body. Notice how also I added it to the top of the body, not to the side of the body. If you add it on this side, it will look like you've got a dead bird. So you want that head to be up so that it looks like it's alive and well. So it's a little bit fat there, so I'm just squeezing it a little bit and pushing it over. Notice when I smooth, I'm going from the top and really going along the whole thing. It really helps make a nice smoothing area. If you really want to do well at this kind of work, you need to smooth, not little strokes like this, but long strokes. Okay, here we go. That's good enough there. And now we're going to add the wings. So take a piece of clay in my hand, and I'm going to just press it out. I see a lot of people going like this. No, just take it, and you're going to put one hand on the top of the other and squish it. Do it again if you need. This really makes the clay do what you want it to do. That pounding stuff doesn't really work very well. I'm going to get another piece because it looks like I'm going to need that much. And it also really helps if you stand up and do it. This is really so much easier if you have soft clay. So, that might be recycled clay for you. You might add a little bit of water. So now I have these nice pieces of clay, and I'm going to see how big I want that wing to be. So I'm going to just take it. I'm going to draw it here. The wing goes up to the back of the bird and about down here. So it's kind of like a teardrop if you look at it this way, a long one. Okay, and then I'm going to draw that on the clay. That shape, that size, about like this, a little bit thinner. And now I'm going to cut through, now that I'm happy with it. There we are. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that piece of clay in the other one so I can get the same size. I tend to not like to roll the clay out with guides for things like wings because wings are organic. They've got all the feathers on them. They're not flat, and when you roll out the clay, things tend to be flat. Now, I really look at this. You can see it has two edges here, kind of like when you're cutting cookies out of cookie batter, right? So you want to get rid of this upper edge right here so that only this bottom edge remains. So again, we're going to get rid of this edge. So here we go. Not on the side, not on the top, right on that edge. Notice how I'm supporting with this hand. I'm really going to push down firmly. And now there's only one edge. See, that upper edge is gone. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it on the other side. Not on the side, not on the top, right on that edge. I'm pressing down. This is going to get a really nice professional look to this. Notice when I'm smoothing also from the end all the way to the other end, this is the way to smooth correctly. And so now again, we're going to get rid of this upper edge, smooth on the edge to get rid of it, to bring it down. And the same with this other one. I like to smooth with my right hand, so that's why I turned the whole thing over. And there we are. So now we're going to add those wings. I think I want them going up like this. That's nice. So I'm going to put them on there temporarily to make sure that they're about right. If they're a little bit different in size or shape, it's not going to really matter. People aren't going to really notice, you know, unless it's a, you know, something that's going to go in a museum or something, right? Back it up a little bit here, a little bit here. Just look about the same from the top. And I'm drawing that line so that I know where to score to bring these pieces together so that they stay together. Okay, take them back off, and I'm going to score. I don't like these things that the clay gets all hooked inside. I really hate that. Okay, here we go. Oh, and on the inside. But it's a lot quicker for a demo. Always tell my students if they want it to stay in that, you know, 1900 temperature, they need to score in all directions. And I'm going to use tons of slip. Tons of slip is always better because you know that you're getting a really good connection. I'm just going to squeeze that on there for now. And the other one. Clean off my finger. Otherwise I'm going to get little pieces on my piece. And I'm really, notice I'm firmly pushing on both sides. And I can stretch this out so that it's the same length. Looks nice that it's that the wings are going above the bird a little bit. Looks more realistic. And then I'm pressing in the bottom. I'm not going to add feet to this because they tend to break off. And now I'm going to add the eyes very simply, just about in the middle here. It'll look really odd. Now notice I'm looking at both sides at one time to make sure I put them in the right place until I get that beak on there. So a little piece of clay, roll it in my hands. Now, remember to make that little point at the end, hands together at the bottom, put the clay there and roll. And all of a sudden, you've got either, you know, a really long beak or cut it off and you've got a really short beak. I think I'll go for this size for now. I'm going to use my favorite tool. This. Make sure that I'm going to score in the right place. And get some slip. Put it on. There we are. Clean it off with your finger. And there we have our cute bird. Also, if you want to put feathers on the sides, think of them as U's. So there's a U, and then at the bottom, I connect to make another U. This is how you do this. So U in the middle, and then I make another U, and then I keep on going. This is something that later on you would have to go by with a Sgraffito tool, and go over these again to get all that nasty, you know, those pieces of clay out of there. So it really looks good, but it will end up looking beautiful. Thank you so much.